Happy Sunday. I know you're getting notified that I am online, so I'm going to give a little bit of time for people to show up, but basically, this time is for you to ask me anything that you want about me, my book, my journey. You'll get to know me a little bit more. Hopefully, like I said, Sundays will be story time, and you get to learn a little bit more about me, my business, and who I am, why I do what I do, what I've been through, things like that, just so that more people can feel more comfortable sharing their testimony. Everybody has a story. It doesn't have to be glamorous. Mine was very ugly about 6 months ago, so I will share as much vulnerable moments as I can just to make sure that people feel that I'm real. People see me. I am a hottie, but I do go through real life struggles. Everything is not peaches and rainbows over here. And so I just wanted to create this collective. Please join the channel. If you did not see it, go to my story. There's a link there, but join the channel. I try to put as much encouraging messages on there, scriptures, prayers, things like that. I'll probably create a different group for like my business people, but this one is just a general everybody hindsight collective. If you are a person in a season who's looking for some community, this is where you can start, because everybody who will be joining in this community are either my personal friends or people that I've met along the way who have taught me things that are invaluable, and I can't put a price on them. So I just want to thank everybody who has already joined the community and those who are going to join, as well as anybody who's bold enough to get on here and ask to join and talk with me. I would love that, because I'm getting used to being on here, trying to show up for myself, get out of my own way. But it is very hard. I have a lot of insecurities that most people would not imagine that I have. I am an introvert by nature. I have created this person that you see over the last 38 years. Yes, I'm 38. But it's not where I am comfortable yet. And so I'm trying to just get on here. This live version is probably the easiest for me because I can't really take it away. And yeah, I'm just here to be vulnerable. So I don't see anybody on yet, but that's okay. I am going to talk a little bit about my book, Hindsight, and my sissy poo right there. But I am going to talk a little bit about Hindsight, which is my book. You can get on Amazon. I'm hoping that everybody in the collective has their copy, because I will be referencing this a lot. I will be reading out of it a lot. I don't really know what this is going to turn into. It's not technically a Bible study, but I will be talking about the Lord Jesus in here, the Holy Spirit, God himself, how I got here, how business and life and the Lord has changed me, how community, which is why I created this, has changed me. Church, my church friends, my girlfriends, my spiritual guides who don't even know that they're my besties in my head. This is all what this is about. So people might get a little intimidated because it says business on the back. That's because I am a realtor. If you don't know me, I am a realtor, Patty Maxine Realty Group. I sell real estate, sell, buy. I'm particularly going to be showcasing new build communities, because I currently live in a new build community that I absolutely love, and I would love for these beautiful people on here to be my neighbors. I know people are going to be like, I'm not moving, to where you live. It's so far, but it's really not. And I will explain that later on a different episode. But just to keep you in line with everything that is going on, it will pretty much become things that I either wrote in the book, or things I didn't get to put in the book, or things that I've learned in the process of writing the book. Because let me tell you, when you make a decision to do something for the Lord, because he gave me this, literally he gave me this, and I'll tell you the story in just a minute. When you do something for the Lord, it's like the universe just opens up, and it's like, okay, well, now you want to open up and talk about that. You want to be bold and courageous for the Lord. Well, let me teach you a couple of things. And so I say that to say that the last 6 months of my life have been a doozy, but I made it through, and I'm on the other side. I feel strong. I feel encouraged. I've been broken to the point where I thought I was literally going crazy, which again, I will share some of that just so that people know that, hey, people know that life is hard and it's not what people think it is from the outside. Instagram, I mean, of course I have a filter on now, not ashamed to say that because I needed a little, but yeah, people be lying and acting like, everything is just, oh, the Lord this and the Lord that, or even if you're not Christian or whatever, like whatever your mantra is, like it's not you. Let's just start there. It's not you who's controlling everything that's going on with the society that we are living in today in the United States of America is very scary. It's getting very scary. So I'm asking the Lord to make me more bold and courageous in talking about him and trying to guide his people back to him. Help people understand that it's not hard to live a Christian life. It's actually the better way, because the Bible literally tells you how to be a good human being. And that's really all Christianity is about, to me at least, is giving you a blueprint basically on how to treat others, how to treat yourselves, what God says about you, what your mission is. So that's basically what this book is about. If you haven't gotten it yet, it is the human experience through the lens of mission and marketplace. That's like the basic of what everything I'll be talking about. So it's not only about the marketplace, it's not only about business, but it's also about the mission and how you get there, how you get clarity, things like that. So I'm just trying to get more open about talking about this. I will be having a book release. If you have not heard about me writing a book, or if you haven't gotten the book yourself, it's been out for about a year, but I haven't really been doing any promotion of it. So this is like the start of my promotion. So yes, if you would do me a favor, send this link to somebody. I will put the link in here. Actually, hopefully it'll still show. Maybe not when it's over, but let's just put the link right there. So yeah. I'll put the link right there, and I'll put it on my next story when I finish this, or when I repost this. You'll have the link as well, so you can just click on it. But I would love your support. I would love your feedback, because writing this was a task, and I really didn't want to go back and read it again after I finished it and published it. But I will be going back through it through this collective, and just kind of reading it word for word. Not like an audiobook. I'm not there yet. Don't like hearing my voice that much, but I will sit here and read to you, like I said, on story time for Sunday. So I just want to make sure that everybody gets their own copy so that they can follow along and basically know what we're talking about. So before I get started, let me just tell you that this is the table of contents and the 4 parts that I will be speaking about. The boss, the brand, the bag, the blueprint. Those are how I sectioned out this entire book. Yes, it's a lot of words. Yes, it's in small print, but I had to get it out of my system. So with that being said, I'm going to share kind of where this all came from. When I first originally started the book, it was about 10 years ago. So I didn't just like up and start writing out of nowhere. I literally have been running from doing this for a very long time. But when I first started it, I had already had Patty Maxine, which was a fashion clothing company. At the time, I think I had just moved into real estate, or I was thinking about it. I can't remember exactly but I know I was still doing Patty Maxine, like the brand, the real estate company. The brand, the fashion company. If you don't know that about me, I can link it. I could tell you about it. I still have my page up where you can see some of my stuff, but, going through that process and learning how to become an entrepreneur on my own, pretty much, because social media had just kind of started, and I didn't really know what I was doing. A lot of failing, a lot of trying, a lot of testing. But I was sitting at work one day, because I still work corporately, and I was working at CBRE, which is a commercial real estate company, and I was basically like an office manager, where the tenants that are in both of our towers, their receptionists were like my clients. So anything that they needed regarding security, lights being out, plumbing, cleaning, anything property management related, it came through me, creating events, creating workshops, doing fun activities for the clients in our building. I was pretty much there to be the conduit between them and my property management team. So loved the job. It was a temporary job. I will tell you about that. It's in the book, actually, how I got that job, which was only God-given. Like, it was only God-given. It was a temporary job that ended up becoming a 3-year career there. And again, in the book, you will hear how I left that job, because the Lord is funny like that. So I will get into more of that as we get along. But I just had to tell you all of that to say that I was sitting at my desk. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning, just doing my normal admin, invoices, all those types of things. And literally, I don't know how I explain it unless you've had an experience like this before for your personal self, because I know it's going to sound outlandish, but I literally felt the Holy Spirit come upon me, and he literally told me to type out this outline. That's how I got the 4 parts, right? And at that time, the book was not called Hindsight. It was called Becoming Patty Maxine. And I'll show you just the first page of what I had written that day, and not even all of this, really, just mostly this. And let me see if I can find the other part. But anyway, I literally turned this one. Okay, yeah, this is where it was. This is the one. Okay, don't mind this. I don't know what that is, but this right here is all that I kind of got, right? I got the 4 parts, and I kind of started breaking it down like this. These were some more of my breakdowns in the way that I felt like I was going to tell the story. So basically, for the next 10 years, I just continued to add to this document on the computer, and it ended up being like 32 pages of typed notes. It was anything and everything that I felt like God was telling me, anything I was learning at church. I was going to one community church at the time. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. I will never say anything bad about one community church. I no longer attend there. I go to Shoreline City. Now it's closer to my house. But I love that church as well. But one community is where I will always say I was reborn again. Because growing up, as a little kid, I kind of went to just church with my grandma. You know, you would sleep during church. It wasn't really like super impactful. And then when I got to my high school year, middle school, high school years, my mom had started going to church more regularly, getting involved. So I got to see her as an example of serving and just being available for the Lord. And, you know, even still then, I was in, 16 or so before I had this experience at church that I feel like kind of changed my life and changed the trajectory of my life. So before that, I didn't really have like a super solid foundation or a relationship with God. I knew who he was. I knew the activities of church. I knew, I just had never really had like an experience until that day that I had an experience about 16 or 17. And from then, my life has just blossomed into this beautiful testimony of what God can do when you actually surrender and let him help you, guide you through your life. Because it's hard, guys. But yes, so basically I would just write. Didn't make sense. I would just write all kind of stuff, literally 32 pages, front and back, that I would write. And it wasn't in any particular order. I just kind of would write down anything. I have my phone. If I can give you my phone, I'm using my phone. But I had a notepad that has thousands and thousands and thousands of little notes. Some of them are not full thoughts, but just to kind of give you a insight into my writing process. I mean, you can see I have handwritten notes. I have, all kind of scribbles. And then literally this slash right here is because I would start with this page. When I first started writing this book about a year ago, I would start with this page and I would just read this first line. Okay. And then I would just write whatever I thought about it. Then I would go to this next line and write about it. And I got all the way through all the pages. It didn't really make sense most of the time, but then I went back and reread it in a more organized form. So I'll show you that. Of course, I am a note girl. I'm a sticky note girl. But just to give you an idea, like this was my first kind of manuscript when I started writing it out. I had it sectioned off in all the different sections, not just the 4 parts, but in different chapters between those. Of course, I had all my sticky notes. Things were still going on there. But basically what I would do is literally take this, right, based on the outline that I remember, whatever I was going through at the time, and then I would write it out. And then I went back through and I started editing it by hand, just trying to get my voice right, my content right, making sure I was saying the things that I wanted to say. So that was kind of step 2 of the process. Then when I actually got it all done, it took me about 8 months. When I got it all done, I printed it. I self-published on Amazon, which is why you can get it on Amazon. And so I ordered a few copies. I gave a few copies out. This says not for sale because it was like the offer copies that I got. This one's a little raggedy, so just don't judge it because the pages are falling out. That's how much I was in here. But so once I got it printed in paper form, I still went back. Let me just show you these since they're out. I still went back and went over all of everything that I wrote, changed things, changed titles, changed directions. And then I finally, got to a point where I felt like it was good. I could send it out. But the thing that I got is that, like, it's a constant thing. Like, you're constantly in motion. So even after I wrote this, after I had this physical copy, I still had to go back and write, like, I don't know, this many pages of what I was going through at the actual time of after writing this. Because like I said, when you say that you're going to do something for God, just be ready. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want it to be scary, but just be ready, because things in your life will start to happen to show you and to show God that you are serious about what you are going forward and doing in his name, because he will not glorify anything that he did not send you to do, and he will not sustain anything that he did not tell you to do. So just keep those things in mind when you're praying to God. Oh my God, please do this, this, and this, because it might not be what you thought you were asking for. So be specific, but be open to the change and be open to pivoting. But yeah, just so to give you another example, I would just go in there, make little marks. Writing this actually took me back to when I was in middle school, and you know how they do grammar on the board and they write a sentence out, like sentence structure, and you circle the verb and you underline the adjective and you make sure that the conjunctions and all that stuff. That's what I was having the most fun with in here. It actually took me back to my childhood. I didn't think that I liked English or writing at all, really, honestly, but the way that my brain works and the way that it talks to me, I guess you can say, everybody has a little intro, conversation with your brain. But the way that it talks to me is always in story form. So I never really got into like journaling, because I would start writing it like a story. Like not because I wanted somebody else to come back and read it, but it just, to me, in order for it to feel real and whatever, it needed to make sense grammatically and like have a storyline and all this stuff. But so I got out of that. I have been doing better with my journaling, but it's still kind of hard for me because I don't, especially when I'm writing it, I get in my head and I start going off on some other stuff. So I now type it, or I put it in my phone. But yes, so I just wanted to kind of share with you guys the process of writing that book, because people hear that I wrote a book and they're like, oh my God, you wrote a book? Like, how cool is that? Yes, it's very cool. Very cool. Very cool. I'm very proud. I will have more books coming, so stay tuned. But that was literally the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Not the physical writing part of it, but the living through it for the 10 years that I had to live through it and make the notes. So much has happened in that book. That's why I'm like, you think it's about business. It's really not. It's really about me and God and how we, got in there and worked it out and got to where we are today. And I still haven't arrived, but I am. It's made me more open, more vulnerable. It's made me more honest about my process. It's made me more welcoming of change and not being perfect all the time. And not that I always felt like I was a perfectionist, because I was very like creative. So creatives, we kind of are all over the place. It's not like I was a perfectionist, OCD. If you see my office right now, it's a hot mess. That's why you're facing towards me now. But I did have a lot of perfectionism here, that I didn't want to put anything out that would be shameful to God, or like put, him down because I'm talking in his name, or for people to really see me the way that I thought in my head. I had to be broken from that to, the portrayal that I had in my head and who I thought I was, had to be shattered in order for me to expel this book. So I'm not, I don't regret it. I would go through it again. It was very, 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 very hard, but so worth it. And so I, just wanted to share that with you guys. And if anybody, like I said, no one's really gotten on here yet, but if anybody wants to join and have any conversation or ask me any questions while I'm doing this, I'm always open. I'm always going to be honest, and it'll probably get real deep. And I also need to tell you that I am a Capricorn, and I'm very, very direct. Sometimes the things that come out of my mouth are not in the most sweet way, but I meant what I said, if you know what I mean. Like, if you ask me something, I'm going to give you the truth, how I feel it, how the spirit inside of me feels it to tell you. But it's not always going to be peaches and rainbows. It's not always going to be nice. It's not always going to be something you might want to hear. But I have had so many people in my life to do that for me. And that's what's transformed my life, is that people were able to be honest with me, and I was able to take in the criticism, good or bad. Sometimes it would be things like, oh my gosh, you're so this, uplifting, encouraging. And my mindset just wasn't there yet. So I was just like, thank you, but I don't feel that yet, Or sometimes it was like, you're doing this, or I see this in you, or, you need to stop doing this. And not like in an authoritative way, but just kind of showing me myself as a mirror. And sometimes that stuff was hard, because I'm like, I don't do that. I'm not like that. I'm not defensive. Get married, guys. You'll learn a lot about yourself. I've been married almost 3 years. Today is actually my engage anniversary, when I got engaged, 2/22/22. So this is 4 years since then. And being married has completely changed my life for the good. Yes, there were some bad, but it was all for the good. And I'm not even gonna say bad like me and Marquise aren't besties, because he's my bestie. I love that boy. But we're humans, and we're learning each other. We both had baggage and things like that. We came to the situation kind of broken. So we've been working it out. And if you stay tuned, you stay with us long enough, we are going to create a podcast where we can kind of just like have conversations with each other about whatever it is you want to talk about. So I'll take any suggestions at this point. But yeah, I just feel like I'm talking a lot, so it's kind of awkward, but hopefully somebody gets something out of here that they actually need. So with that being said, I'm going to pull out the book, put all my notes back. And I will see if I can get anybody. Hopefully nobody likes me. But you know what? That right there is just the enemy trying to tell me that I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I felt it when I was at church today, that I was supposed to get online and do something, say something. So I'm here. Like I said, if you saw my vision board, my words are abundance and audacity. Like, I'm receiving abundance, and I am going to have the audacity to open my mouth and do the things that I feel like God is actually telling me to do. And when he tells me not to, and he tells me to hush, to do that as well. So I just hope that you guys bear with me, pray with me. This has been an awesome journey, but it has been so hard to get here. But I am looking forward to this year, what God has in store for me and for everybody attached to me. So please join the collective. I will not, stop saying that. I feel like community is the number one key to any type of success. You cannot do anything on your own. You cannot see yourself alone. You cannot walk alone. So you need community. And I just hope that I can be the conduit. Even if you don't stick with me, if you create your own community, I would love that. Or if you start with me and you hear about somebody else and they have a podcast or something that you want to listen to, by all means. I don't care if one person doesn't hear this. Secretly hope nobody gets on, because I don't really like to do this, but I have to get more comfortable doing this because this is a part of my life. It's a part of my business. So yeah, here we go. So just to give you an overview again, these are the 4 sections. And these are the table of contents. I mean, you can't really see it, but this is how it's broken down, each of the sections. But I'll just start with reading my little preface, and then I'll probably just get off and leave it there until I get more people on, but maybe not. Maybe we'll keep going. I don't know. Let's see how I feel reading out loud. Okay, so it says, this is like my introduction or my thank you, kind of, you know how people have at the beginning of their books. So I just wanted to give, a couple shout outs to people who helped me during my journey. So it says, to my not so perfect life, thank you for being both the fire and the forge, teaching me the lessons etched into these words. Thank you for your answers, for breaking me in places I thought unbreakable, for showing me the beauty in rebuilding. So that's basically all hindsight is about. To my husband, hi Tutu. To my husband, the one who has shown me the depths of myself I never knew existed in a season I wasn't prepared for. Thank you for loving me with a grace that feels like answered prayers, embracing me, sharp edges and all, and for holding place for my growth. You've taught me what it means to rest in love, to breathe in the soft life I once whispered to God about. For every quiet gesture, for every nudge toward my better self, and for simply being you. You are the calm in my chaos, and I am endlessly grateful. He was calling me, but I can't answer because I'm alive. To my family, each of you has given me the foundation to see the world not as it appears, but as God has designed it to be. Your love, flaws, and faith have been the prism through which I've learned to see grace in every shade. To my God friends, girlfriends, and guides who have all become as intimately intertwined as my family, thank you for filling in the gaps where love, companionship, and life lessons intersect. Each of you have taught me the power of connection and community. Told you I'm going to continue to say that. I owe you tremendously for the unconditional support and encouragement I've felt over the years. I pray that I reciprocated a fraction of the love you showed upon me. And then lastly, to the person holding this book in your hand, yes, you, the one who was wrestling with chaos, searching for clarity in the storm, may these pages whisper to the quiet corners of your soul, reminding you that even in the unraveling, you are being woven into something extraordinary. In every season, choose to embrace your idiosyncrasies, for they are the threads that make you uniquely powerful. It's time to create a life and a legacy you love, even if it feels like the world is pulling you apart. This book is for the broken, the searching, and the brave. May you find yourself within these pages. So that's kind of a preview of what is to come in the rest of it. So I'm going to go ahead and stop now. I'll be back on later. If somebody wants to get on, just ping me, DM me, let me know if they want to know more about the book or ask me any questions about my process, what I do. If you are on here, you do see this video and you are a real estate agent, please know that I am, number one, about to create a team. So if you are looking to have a shift in your business and would like to join my team, that'd be awesome. I am with eXp Realty, so we have a lot of resources and leverage and things like that to help you get started. If you're thinking about getting your license, I'm happy to talk to you about that. But if you are an active agent, I am doing a workshop, I guess you could say, about social media and how to create reels and things like that for agents only. It will be at my community at David Weekly. homes. We have 13 builders here in Solterra. But David Weekly has given me the opportunity to be their specific social media content teacher for realtors. And so I just want to be able to invite you to that. It's going to be March 9th, which is a Monday, I believe, from 12 to 3. You can come at 11:30 and get some snacks and drinks and things like that. But we will start promptly at 12 for 2 hours. We will sit there and we will talk about social media, what you think it is, what I know it to be from my experience, and just some tips and tricks on how to make your real estate business work for you through social media. So yeah, I just want to do that shameless plug again. Get the book and come back. See you later. I don't even know how to do this.